Patti and I both knew Allen very well. And I had known Patti a long time. We've known each other since 1979, but in a certain way, it was really Allen that brought us together. I performed Wichita Vortex Sutra many, many times with him. When as part of Hydrogen Jukebox, I had made a tape. He had given me a tape of his reading it. In fact, we had done a recording, and we took that, and then when he didn't come, because he didn't come to all the performances, then we would play the tape and I would play with it. But after he died, I didn't play it at all for, maybe 5 or 6 years. And by that time, I was missing having a poet in my life. I was touring somewhere, and I had the recording, and then he said, well, when Allen was alive, I used to play with the recording. So why shouldn't I do it now? It was the same thing, really. Just that he wasn't there in a different way. So I suddenly began around 4 or 5 years ago, I began performing with his voice. And after that, I asked Patti if she would read it. When she read Allen's poetry, she didn't sound like Allen, she sounded like Patti. If she had sounded like Allen, I wouldn't have liked it very much. Because then, what would be the point? I mean, Allen wasn't there, so it would only make you miss him more if she sounded like Allen. But she didn't do that. She always read the poem as if it was her poem. And for that reason, it was very powerful.
I noticed the grass. I noticed the hills. I noticed the highways. I noticed the dirt road. I noticed car rows in the parking lot. I noticed ticket takers. I noticed the cash and checks and credit cards. I noticed buses, noticed mourners. I noticed their children in red dresses.
He used to say, first thought, best thought. He really, he was a great believer in that. He believed in walking in truth, the complete truth. And this poem says right here, May 28th, 1987, 2:30 to 3:15 a.m.
Down hillsides and past green woods to the water, I noticed the houses and the balconies overlooking a misted horizon, shore and old worn rocks in the sand. I noticed the sea. I noticed the music. I wanted to dance.
Not every artist has the gift of living beyond the era of their lives, of the moments of their lives. I mean, certainly, you look at Euripides or Shakespeare, they went way past that. But within our own living memory, we won't really know which artists will be memorable in 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, 20 years, 300 years. We have no idea. But I am beginning to feel now with Allen that he's going to be one of the immortals. That's what I mean. The immortals are the ones who write for everyone, for every time. Not only for the future, but they write for the people of the past. Don't forget that. They're still there too. So you can say that the poems of Allen were written for the Trojan Wars. And they were written for the Iraq War. The same thing. Those are the true immortals, are the ones that write for everyone, no matter when they live. And I suspect that Allen will enter into that pantheon of great virtuoso artists. I noticed the sea. I noticed the music. I wanted to dance.